Hello dear viewers, and welcome back to the channel, where we meticulously track the intricate dramas unfolding behind the gilded gates of the British royal family. Today, we are delving into a truly seismic shift in the House of Windsor, a definitive moment where King Charles III, barely settled on the throne, delivered a decisive and deeply painful ultimatum to his younger brother, Prince Andrew. This marked the end of a relentless tide of humiliation that had plagued the monarchy for years. But this is not merely a story of titles being shuffled. It is the story of a monarch making a brutally necessary choice for the survival and integrity of the crown. A choice that reverberated across the globe and put a definitive stop to one of the most persistent scandals in modern royal history. Before we immerse ourselves in the details of this royal rupture, please take a moment to show your support. Remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel for the deepest dives into royal affairs, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update on the Windsors. Your engagement helps us bring these compelling stories directly to you. The story culminates in a public announcement, but the true drama unfolded behind closed doors, steeped in familial tension and the grim realities of public perception. The issue, of course, centers on Prince Andrew, the former Duke of York, and his long-standing, deeply damaging association with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. For years, the royal family, under the late Queen Elizabeth II, attempted to manage the fallout. However, the shadow cast by these controversies was not just embarrassing. It was, as Andrew himself would later acknowledge, completely overshadowing the crucial charitable and public facing work being performed by the rest of the royal household. The moment of truth arrived with stunning clarity. On the pivotal date of the 17th of October, a statement was issued from Buckingham Palace, a declaration that marked the formal, ignominious withdrawal of Prince Andrew from the public facing sphere of royal life. This was not a voluntary retirement. It was a forced exodus, orchestrated by the new King Charles III, who was determined to streamline the monarchy and eliminate any lingering threats to its reputation. The statement, released through the palace, was attributed to Sarah Ferguson's former husband. It announced unequivocally that he would no longer utilize his remaining royal title, the Duke of York, nor would he retain the few remaining official honors that had been conferred upon him over his decades of service. This sweeping capitulation was directly linked to the resurfaced and ongoing scrutiny related to the Jeffrey Epstein controversy, a controversy that refused to fade regardless of how many years passed. Andrew's own words in the statement revealed the extent of the pressure he was under. He publicly confessed that his personal scandals were indeed casting a detrimental pall over the laudable work being carried out by his royal relatives. In his own estimation, the negative press surrounding him had become a destructive force, actively undermining the monarchy's mission. The only logical, albeit devastating, conclusion was to bid farewell to his royal life in any official capacity. It is absolutely crucial to note the persistent duality in Andrew's position. Despite the mountain of visible evidence, documentation, and the extensive media coverage surrounding the allegations, the father of two steadfastly denied all accusations leveled against him. This denial has been a cornerstone of his defense strategy, even as he was simultaneously forced to dismantle his public identity. His published words were stark, serving as the official record of his retreat. With His Majesty's agreement, I feel I must now go a step further. I will therefore no longer use my title or the honors which have been conferred upon me. As I have said previously, I vigorously deny the accusations against me. This statement confirms that the decision was made with His Majesty's agreement, a diplomatic phrase that thinly veiled the reality. This was not Andrew's spontaneous act of self-sacrifice. It was the King's directive. But the most compelling insight into the sheer drama of this historic moment was revealed by the Mirror. Their reporting brought to light the intense, raw family confrontation that preceded the public statement. According to the Mirror, King Charles did not gently suggest Andrew step aside. Instead, Charles explicitly demanded that Andrew relinquish his title and honors during what was described as a furious 10-minute telephone call. Imagine the scene: two brothers, one now, the sovereign, the other stripped bare of his privilege, locked in a tense, high-stakes conversation that would determine the future of one man's identity. 10 minutes. A mere 600 seconds. That's all it took for the king to deliver a crushing blow that ended years of debate and dithering. an insider close to the heart of the matter shared crucial context regarding the king's motivation and preparation for this decisive action. The source revealed that the king's move was not impulsive. It followed close consultation with his family, and in particular Prince William. This detail is incredibly significant. It demonstrates a united front among the three most senior figures in the modern monarchy: the sovereign, the heir, and the king's most trusted advisor on this matter, the Prince of Wales. The king, armed with the consensus and support of his immediate family and the heir apparent, then summoned Andrew to do the right thing. That phrase carries the full weight of the crown's moral authority. It was a clear, unambiguous command, leaving Andrew no room for negotiation or delay. The source further elaborated on the severity of the king's stance, stating plainly he was told it was beyond comprehension for him to continue to enjoy the privileges of his position. Let us pause to fully appreciate the profound implications of this royal decree. The Duke of York title is one of the most distinguished and historically significant in the British peerage, traditionally bestowed upon the second son of the monarch. Its lineage stretches back centuries. To be stripped of this designation, along with the associated honors, knighthoods, military affiliations, and ceremonial privileges, is virtually unprecedented in modern times. King Charles's decision reflects a fundamental shift in the monarchy's operating philosophy. Under Queen Elizabeth II, there was a tendency toward cautious management, prioritizing familial privacy where possible. However, Charles, having watched the institution he now leads suffer repeated blows due to Andrew's actions, has clearly adopted a zero-tolerance policy. He is prioritizing the institutional health of the crown over the personal feelings or entitlements of a family member. Andrew had already faced significant reductions in his public life prior to this final hammer blow. Back in January 2022, facing mounting legal pressure and the threat of a civil lawsuit in the United States, the late Queen had already stripped him of his military titles and royal patronages. That was a serious demotion, but he was still allowed to retain the Duke of York title, creating an awkward half-in, half-out status. This October decision, however, removes the last vestiges of his royal identity. He is now functionally just Prince Andrew, a civilian member of the extended royal family. The 10-minute furious call suggests that Andrew may have been reluctant to take this final step. He had, after all, fought vigorously to retain his dignity and standing, even as the walls of scandal and consequence closed in around him. The king's intervention was therefore necessary, a forceful action to cut through any lingering resistance or denial that Andrew may have harbored about the extent of the damage he was inflicting upon the monarchy. The consultation with Prince William is particularly noteworthy. The future king has consistently advocated for a more streamlined, efficient, and ethically accountable monarchy, one untainted by the controversies of previous generations. His influence on his father during this decision underscores the generational commitment to reform. William understands that public trust is fragile, and that any continuation of Andrew's privileged status would have eroded that trust even further. It would have created a constant vulnerability for the institution he is destined to inherit. This episode serves as a powerful demonstration of King Charles III's resolve. He inherited a monarchy facing immense challenges of relevance and public scrutiny. By swiftly and decisively addressing the Andrew problem, a problem that had festered for years, Charles sent an unmistakable signal to the British public and the Commonwealth. The era of tolerance for scandal that threatens the core mission of the crown is over. The language used by the insider, that it was beyond comprehension for him to continue to enjoy the privileges, perfectly encapsulates the public mood. The privileges of royal life, the titles, the security, the prestige, are predicated upon service and exemplary conduct. When that conduct falls catastrophically short, those privileges must be revoked. Charles recognized that allowing Andrew to continue using the Duke of York title, while simultaneously denying the serious accusations against him, created an unbearable contradiction for the public to accept. So, what does this mean for Prince Andrew moving forward? He remains a prince by birthright, a son of the late sovereign, and currently 8th in line to the throne. However, without his titles and honors, and without any public duties, his life will now be one of profound isolation from the workings of the crown. He will retain private security, but his presence at future major state occasions will likely be limited, carefully managed, and heavily scrutinized. He is now firmly relegated to the periphery, a stark and permanent reminder of the cost of association with figures like Jeffrey Epstein. The contrast between the good work Andrew confessed to overshadowing and his own downfall could not be more vivid. The royal family collectively engages in thousands of engagements every year, supporting hundreds of charities and representing the nation. For one man's personal drama to consistently dominate headlines and detract from this service was, in the king's view, unsustainable. The decision on the 17th of October was therefore an act of institutional self-preservation, the king prioritizing the longevity and moral standing of the crown over the comfort of his brother. It was a painful familial decision, but one deemed essential for the monarchy to move forward into a new reign, unburdened by the ghosts of the past. The removal of the Duke of York title, in particular, carries massive historical weight. It symbolically severs Andrew's connection to the highest levels of the royal structure. While he may still be known informally as Andrew, the former Duke of York, the official sanction of the title is gone, marking a ceremonial death for his public persona. This entire episode highlights the immense pressure placed upon King Charles III as he continues to define his reign. His mother, the late Queen Elizabeth II, was renowned for her enduring sense of duty and her deeply personal commitment to her children. Charles, however, has demonstrated that his duty to the institution outweighs even the most deeply personal of familial bonds. This firmness, expressed through that now infamous 10-minute confrontation, establishes a clear precedent for how the new king intends to manage future crises, swiftly, decisively, and with an unyielding focus on preserving the monarchy's dignity. In conclusion, the events surrounding the 17th of October mark a pivotal chapter in the history of the House of Windsor. King Charles III, through a crucial decision, born of familial consultation and fueled by a profound sense of urgency, finally put an end to the persistent shadow cast by Prince Andrew. He commanded his brother to make the ultimate sacrifice, the surrender of his public identity, ensuring that the relentless cycle of scandal and humiliation would at last come to an end. This dramatic act of stripping titles and honors was far more than a bureaucratic adjustment. It was a deeply personal yet necessary statement about the standards expected of those who bear the royal name. This chapter may be closed, but its repercussions will continue to echo. For Prince Andrew personally, and for the evolving, streamlined monarchy that King Charles envisions for the future, we are left to wonder about the emotional toll of that reported 10-minute call. What were the final words exchanged between the king and his brother? And what does Andrew's continued, vigorous denial mean for his private life moving forward? Now we turn to you, our dedicated viewers. What are your thoughts on King Charles's decisive action? Do you believe the 10-minute confrontation was necessary, or could this matter have been handled with greater diplomacy? Was the removal of the Duke of York title the right and essential step for the long-term health of the monarchy? Please share your opinions and insights in the comment section below. We read and value every single contribution. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more in-depth royal analysis, and join us next time as we continue exploring the fascinating and often turbulent world of the British royal family. Thank you for watching, and may your day be filled with royal insights.